And welcome back to the Rec Crew. It's your boy Chesco. I'm here with Luis. We are here to recap UFC 298, Volkanovski versus Topuria. Wild night.
Yeah, it was a good card.
Very good card. Oh, I had an incredible night. So, I have a very, very understanding partner in my life. And when I'm like,
which is good for you because you need that in your life. If she wasn't understanding, then I don't think it would work out.
Why?
Because you have you're very high strung in your ways, and you don't deviate from your ways very much.
That's not true. It's just my way is the right way most of the time. Okay, is what I'm saying.
High strong, stubborn, call it whatever you want.
Oh, I'm stubborn. Look who's talking.
I never said I wasn't. No. At least I'm admitting to my flaws.
No. The thing is that I'm a realist with everything around me. I'm a realist to my flaws as I am to hers, right? So I'm like, because some people, it's like, oh, we're just these 9.5 out of 10 people walking around. It's just no, we're about a 5 out of 10, and if we're lucky on that day. Okay.
When you talking about those numbers, are you talking about looks? What are you talking about?
No. Overall, the whole package.
Ah, okay.
The whole package. All right.
I think 9.5 is an understatement, but okay.
Yeah, see? So I'm like, now, I do admit, for example, if she asks me, am I a 10 out of 10? She knows not to ask me that.
Because you're going to say.
The answer is absolutely.
Actually, you're wrong. Not a 10 out of 10.
It's a 10 out of 10.
I'm a 15 out of 10.
Now, if she asks me, am I a 15 out of 10? Yeah, you're that too. Yeah. Like, so it's like, she knows not to ask me those stupid questions. Yeah. But I told her, look, I never, ever get to watch the UFC fights at home. I have a man cave, right? Like, that's one of my biggest, honestly, like, my biggest accomplishments is creating a man cave.
In your apartment?
Yes. And so much that every apartment I live in, the man cave is the master bedroom. So
you switched the master bedroom to be a man cave? Yes. Or you have two rooms?
I have two rooms.
Okay, you just use the guest bedroom as your master bedroom.
Exactly. Yes.
How does she feel about that?
I don't care.
That's not. I'm not asking you.
Never had this conversation.
Care, but how do you think?
And I'm gonna be honest with you. If she's told me before, I don't remember. Because it doesn't matter.
It's my house, my rules. Do as I say when I say so.
It's like if one day she came and told me a random, notion about Jupiter. I don't remember that either.
It's on the same spectrum,
same scale, because it doesn't matter.
Things I don't care about.
Yeah. Right? So it's like if she ever told me about Jupiter, never told me how she felt about this, I forgot both of them at the same time. I could care less how she, and I don't understand why everybody doesn't do this. The master bedroom, what's it for?
I'll do that.
What's it for?
What is it supposed to be for?
Yeah. What is it supposed to be for?
It's supposed to be the master or the room where you sleep in.
I still do that in my room. You think I don't sleep in my room? I sleep.
It's supposed to be like the biggest room in the house, right?
It is. Yeah. It's supposed to be. I don't know why. All you do is sleep in it.
You're supposed to spend like majority of your time in there. I guess they're in the
What you do in the living room then?
They're in the living room.
Okay, but the living room, then the master
bedroom.
I
think technically you would spend the majority of your time in the bedroom because you sleep in your bedroom, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you get between 5 to 8 hours of sleep.
Okay.
That's already a majority of the time.
Okay, perfect. Now, why do I need a lot of space to do that?
I'm not disagreeing with you.
No, but I'm saying, why is social construct that the biggest bedroom is the master bedroom?
I cannot answer why social construct has made it that way. I can answer why I have it that way.
Because you follow social construct.
Okay, I'm letting you know my opinion. Whether if I was social construct or not, that's on you. I want my room to be the biggest room where I have everything that I need. I have a spacious amount of room. I can have my king size bed in there.
For what?
For my bed, my king size bed.
No, a king size bed fits in any room. Let's put that out
there. Not comfortably.
Yes, comfortably.
Not comfortably. Not comfortably.
How many people fit in a king size bed? Comfortably?
Comfortably, at
2.
least 3. And the king size, I mean, are we talking about technically or we're not? Comfortably.
Yeah, comfortably. When you're absolutely comfortable, basically you have your own bed to yourself inside a king size bed. There's no 3. That has to be like the humongous bed. You don't have one of those.
King size bed, yeah. I can fit.
Yes, you can fit
I
three
remember.
people.
I remember my mom and my dad had a queen size bed for the longest time, and once they got a king size bed, all three of us.
How old were you?
I was young, like preteen.
So 13, 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not a real person yet.
Yeah, but it was three. My two siblings and myself were in that bed along with my parents.
Oh, trust me, your parents weren't comfortable.
I don't disagree.
That's what I'm saying.
Actually, I cannot agree or disagree with that.
Like that. What I mean comfortable is like you have your own amount of space there. Yes. A king size bed is made for two people. It's made for a husband and wife.
Okay.
Okay, so for two people.
So it's a queen size bed. Queen size. Two people can be comfortable in a queen size bed. Why are we talking about this right now?
Just to say that a king size bed fits comfortably in any room in the house.
Anyways, you have a great accomplishment.
In any room in the house. So it makes no sense. Nobody can give me any valid reason why where you sleep should be the master bedroom.
Look, I learned a long time ago not to argue with stupid,
or when stupid makes logic.
That's a conversation that I'm not going to have with you.
No, okay, because you have no answer for it.
I don't care to have an answer for it.
Why? Because you know you sound stupid when you break it down?
Because I choose not to even think about breaking it down.
Why not?
Because I don't care to.
That's what I mean. You're becoming a slave to social construct.
Call it what you want.
And you can't be that in life. That's why we end up where we end up at.
Right here that's why this podcast.
That's why you end up as a 60-year-old not understanding life when you decide, like, let me step back and think. You're like, why did I always do this stupid shit? Why did I get the biggest bedroom to do nothing in it?
Because I can.
Besides the 7 feet radius.
Because I can.
I use the 7 feet radius and I have 30 feet.
So you were telling me about your man cave. Tell me more about it.
So my man cave, which I don't have a king size bed in, and I can walk. I have a fridge. I have 3 recliners and a couch, and nobody else goes in there but me. So
sounds like a theater room. Sounds like a game room.
Exactly. I have 2 TVs. I have a microwave. I can never leave there, and it's way more comfortable. And then when I leave there, guess where I go? Into my bedroom. Guess what's in there? A king size bed TV. I'm sorry, a king size bed, and a big screen TV, and a walk-in closet. What else do I freaking need?
You got it made.
Made. See? And I'm stupid. I got the best of both worlds.
Who said you were stupid?
You said I can't argue with stupid. Yeah. Yes, you can, because I just did.
You argue with yourself.
No, I argue with you. I argue with you. Yes, you can. Trust me, I just did it. And I won, too.
Choosing not to argue with you.
All right, so
start from the top.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't really watch the first fight. I know he won by submission.
Very nigga choke. So yes. I don't know much about these two fighters, but it's Anthony Hernandez versus Roman Kopylov, middleweight bout. You said, did you watch it at all or no?
I did because the problem was that yesterday. That's why I said I had a perfect night, because my whole night started around
going back to the main kid. Okay,
6 p.m. I watched this terrible movie called White Claw or something, Mandible Claw.
White Claw is a drink.
No, what is it called? It was about it ended up being about a wrestling movie.
Oh, Iron Claw.
Iron Claw. There you go.
It's a good movie.
Terrible movie.
No, I liked it.
Absolutely.
But you know, I'm a wrestling fanatic.
There was nothing good about the movie.
What did you not like about it? Again, we're deviating from the subject, but go ahead.
That movie, that fight sucked. Look. The Iron Claw, it's about a wrestling family, right?
Yes.
They all had, not one of them's a good wrestler. They all sucky. Like, I'm a better wrestler than all of them.
What? How do you determine what's a good wrestler?
None of them flipped. None of them like got off the top rope. None of them did the Jeff Hardy thrust. None of them, had an eyebrow.
Your metrics for what a good wrestler is and what a good wrestler isn't are.
Jeff Hardy's not a good wrestler?
I never said he wasn't, but your metrics are.
Because my bar is the best. Jeff Hardy's one of the best. So none of them.
So The Rock, who's the best?
None of them lifted their eyebrow.
He never did any flips.
But he had an eyebrow.
Oh, so that compensates for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Arguing was stupid. I said, go ahead.
The Rock was big, strong, fast, agile. None of these guys were that. Let's say that.
That's not true.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was bald and had beard. None of these guys had that. Triple H. He spit water all over people. None of these guys did any of that. One of them didn't even have shoes. The movie never explains why. So like, what was the climax of the movie? You tell me. You know how a movie is supposed to have ups and downs, where you're supposed to be happy at some point, and then they bring you down, and then they bring you back up. This shit started off sad, kept sad, ended up sad. Like, am I wrong?
It's a sad movie. It's not. It wasn't supposed to have a happy ending. It was supposed to be.
Okay, I'm not saying have a happy ending. It doesn't have a happy start, middle, or end.
Yeah. And there is no happy. The situation with this movie was about the curse of the Von Erichs. So, if you watch a scary movie, you don't think there's going to be like, oh, I guess certain scary movies have happy endings. But even like Saw was a movie that
even Saw has a moment where you think, hey, I might get out of this.
not with the Iron Claw.
Not this movie. None of it.
But that was part of the movie. That was it wasn't supposed to be a happy movie. It was supposed to be an impactful movie. I'm talking about the Von Erich curse. Allegedly.
Say that again?
What is the point of me talking if you're not going to pay attention?
The movie sucked. If you didn't say that, you said nothing.
Okay, I said nothing. So why are you asking me to repeat myself?
I'm just saying because I don't want to be rude. Like, I do this with my girl all the time. I'm like, let's say it again. And she
compare me to your girl.
she does it. All right. Yeah, Anthony Hernandez won.
Yeah, he won by a rear naked choke.
Oh, forget this fight. So my night started at 6 p.m. And my night started at 6 p.m. Well, no, like at 5. I watched this terrible movie. Then I started watching the All-Star Weekend. Is when they do a 3-point shootout in the slam dunk contest and all that. So it like the last slam dunk overlapped a little. Oh no, the slam dunk contest overlapped with this fight, so I couldn't really watch it. And it ended right at the start of the Merab versus Cejudo fight. So that's why the night, like I'm telling you, it was like perfect.
So then let's just move on to the next fight. Merab
Dvalishvili.
Okay. Merab Dvalishvili versus Henry Cejudo in the bantamweight bouts. What do you think of that fight?
Merab did what Merab does, man. And this time he looked dominant.
Yeah.
I always had not questions about Merab, but it was like, I was always like on the fence because when he fought Jose Aldo, he attempted like 15 takedowns, didn't land one, and they gave him the fight. Who did he fight next?
Let's see.
Let me see. Who did he fight next?
Jan.
Okay, so after Aldo, yeah, so versus Jan, he definitely won. Before Aldo, he had fought Marlon Moraes and knocked him out. So of course I was with that one. Like after Aldo, like I said, he shot like 50 times, never got it. I wasn't too big of a fan of that victory. Versus Jan, he shot like 40 times and got like 3 or 4. Like it's like he wasn't very successful with his takedown attempts. But since he kept shooting and the energy and the pace, he kept winning the fights. Yeah. And I agreed with the decisions, but like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Last night, he like
it was decisive. It was
decisive.
It was undisputed. Man, well, I don't see what's next for Henry Cejudo.
I do.
What do you
retirement?
Yeah, other than retirement,
retire
again.
Yeah, retire again. But this time it makes sense. Like I said, I think I said it in the last episode. Henry Cejudo fucked up
by taking that much time.
He messed up. Like he tried to create like he just did it the wrong way. Like he wanted people to ask for him back and for Dana to beg him and be like, "Hey, I'll give you all this money for you to come back," and that never happened.
Yeah. And
since that never happened, it was weird. It was a tough situation, and when he came back, I remember thinking that Aljo was gonna beat him, and he did barely, and this guy just ran over him.
I've never seen somebody ragdoll Cejudo like he did, and it made him look bad. Like, what was I would have to look at the scorecards, but I would have to guess that it was.
I think Cejudo won the first round though, because he knocked him down.
Well, I think the first one was very close.
But he like knocked him down. He like stunned him.
But It was just that, because after that, nothing else happened.
Yeah, but it's just like we'll talk about it later. It's just like the Whittaker Costa fight in the first round, and so you definitely give it to
whoever was the most dominant in that round.
Whoever had closer to ending the fight. But the other two weren't close.
Do you think that they give Merab to Sean O'Malley now?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the next fight to make.
Well, O'Malley has to beat Cheeto, of course, but Merab gets the winner, yeah, without a doubt.
Okay. How do you think he does against either one of them?
Sean O'Malley is tricky. It's like, I don't know. Is that Sean O'Malley's such a sniper? He can catch you coming in, which is kind of how he got Aljo. And what I say about Aljo's takedowns aren't explosive. Mm-hmm. They're very methodical. He kind of like gets you against the fence. He works up. He goes around you. That's why he's the human backpack. Merab's takedowns are more explosive. Like, he comes in a lot faster. Yeah. And if you get caught in that, you're done, especially with the power and the accuracy that Sean O'Malley has. But if Cheeto somehow wins, that's not a bad matchup because Cheeto on the ground is a beast.
Is he?
Yes. Cheeto on the ground is a submission threat. He throws up submissions all the time.
Okay. So he'd be more wary to actually take him down.
He has to be a little bit more worried. Like, it depends if Cheeto allows it. Like, he's like, all right, take me down. There's a famous fight, Cowboy Cerrone versus Mike Perry, where everybody was like, of course Cowboy could strike with Mike Perry, but everybody like, y'all are kind of even on the striking. Why don't you just take him down? And Cowboy's like, nah, I'm not gonna take him down. I can strike with him. And I think Cowboy was doing good in the stand up. Mike Perry decided to take him down. And Cowboy is like, all right. And he didn't even try to defend it. He's just like, all right, take me down. And then he chokes, he like armbarred him down there. It's like, well, your dumbass decided to come down here.
Everybody knows where their strengths are.
Yeah, like, your dumbass decided to come down here. So at my point, it's like, instead of fighting with Merab, it's like, would Cheeto be like, all right, take me down? And then we see what we do down here.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. That I think they're both tough fights for Merab. Like, stylistically, for Merab, because they said it during the commentary, Cejudo is not a submission threat. He has never.
No, not once.
He has never.
Even when he had his back, he never felt like it was threatened.
Which, that's the problem with some wrestlers. Like Usman, not a submission threat. Kobe Covington, not a submission threat. Henry Cejudo, not a submission threat.
They'll get you down, but they'll just keep you there, and that's it.
TJ Dillashaw, not a submission threat. Dominic Cruz, not a submission threat. Those guys aren't really submission threats. As good as wrestlers as they are, they're just not submission
threats.
They'll
control you and they'll keep you there, but
they'll control you, or they'll keep taking you down, but they're not really gonna end you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think Cejudo's done. Merab definitely has the next champion, and which I think is gonna be Sean O'Malley, and that would be a good fight.
How's Sean O'Malley's takedown defense?
Really good. Yeah. It's good. Now, can he? He can't stop this guy from taking him down eventually. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'll never forget what Dominic Cruz said once. Dominic Cruz is like, there's one way to fight Khabib. And everybody looks at it the wrong way. It's like, how can I stop this guy from taking me down? That's not going to work. The guy's going to take you down. He's eventually going to take you down. The thing is, you got to work on getting your ass up.
Yeah.
If you can get up versus him,
then you're like
a
step ahead of everybody else.
Yes. Then you're like, now it's like, oh, this is a different world. Mm-hmm. So it's like that's gonna be the question for Sean. That guy's eventually gonna take you down. But the thing with Sean is like, if I can keep getting up, or if I get stop a few, if he shoots wrong and one, and I catch him coming in, the fight's over.
Yeah.
So it's like,
because there's gonna be a multiple takedown attempts.
Exactly.
And then eventually one of those.
If he has to make too many takedown attempts, the fight's over. And Merab can't stand with. Nobody can stand. Like, Cheeto can't stand with Sean. The only one that can stand with Sean is Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen and Sean O'Malley, a stand-up fight, will be decent.
Yeah. But
I think Sean's still better. But I think that's more of a Cowboy Cerrone versus Mike Perry type, where they're even up top, but at the ground, Sandhagen will definitely.
Okay, so going on to the next fight, we got welterweight bout Jeff Neal versus Ian Machado Gary.
I didn't like that fight.
I didn't like it either, but a lot of people were saying that Jeff Neal was robbed and he should have won. I don't think he should have won. I watched it yesterday, and it was when I watched it the first time, I thought it was fairly even. But after rewatching it, I don't think he should have won. Ian Machado was. It's not that it was exciting, but he was more aggressive and he was landing more shots. But I don't see where people were saying that Jeff Neal should have won.
I think he won.
You think Jeff Neal won?
If we break it down, I don't like this thing that is like, oh, he was more aggressive. He didn't land anything to me. Like, I think he won the third round.
Well, he had more significant strikes with him each round.
Did he? Can you check the stats?
Let me see if there's a way for me to do that.
I think the first round was definitely Jeff Neal. Like
the first round.
I think the first round Jeff Neal definitely won, in my opinion. Like, what does it say?
80 total strikes, no takedowns, significant strikes 67, 46. This isn't broken down by each round, but yes, he had more significant strikes.
Okay, go round one.
Oh, okay. 2019, 2019. It was very even. 31, 23.
The thing about significant strikes is that a leg kick is a significant strike, right? So
do you disagree with that?
No, yeah, I do. But what I mean is like in the first round, that flurry that Jeff Neal had, right? That got Ian in the face. Mm-hmm. The fight was so methodical and so little happened that I feel like
it was a very technical fight.
Yes, I feel like those exchanges where I get you in a combination, and I don't feel like it was like, to me, it was those blitzes from Jeff Neal against the knees of Ian Gary. And I was which one landed more? In the first round, to me, without a doubt, it was Jeff Neal. In the second round, I think a lot of those knees, for example, the knee that lands on the chest is counted as a significant strike.
Do you know that for a fact, or?
Yeah, any strike that's not a jab is a significant strike.
Okay.
So, and I was like, yeah, it landed, right? Mm-hmm. And it did. It's a body. Right. It's a body shot. It should land. It should count. But does it win you the round? I don't believe so. And it was like those, and that's where things like I get damage is the number one thing, but neither guy had a lot of damage. So
neither one did. It was a close fight. I'm not denying that at all. But I don't think that
this was a point fight, and it's like
that's exactly what it is. Everybody was just trying to outpoint each other.
Yeah. And when you break down the points, I felt like the first two were into Neal. No, I'm not mad at the decision. Mm-hmm. Ian Gary definitely looked better, but
you know what I didn't like? They kept dabbing each other.
I don't understand that. I feel it was a trick by Ian Gary.
You think so?
I feel because
let his guard down.
No, I think it was like a reset. Because every time they dab, of course you're out of your guard, so you have to reset. You know what I mean?
You think it was a tactic?
I feel like strategy because it was happening too much.
There was one of the coaches that kept getting mad at somebody for doing
it. It was Jeff Neal's coach.
Jeff Neal's, yeah.
And I think so, because every time that they dabbed, I feel it happened after Jeff Neal did something. He tagged them, kicked them, something. Okay. And Ian Gary acknowledges it, dabs him. And when you accept the dab, you're not going to hit him at that point, right? So now we got to reset. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was on purpose, but I feel it was always initiated by Ian Gary.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah.
Right? So maybe he was being...
But I think it was a reflex for Jeff Neal to just dab him back.
Yeah.
I think it was just a reflex. I don't think he was doing it consciously. Okay, we'll go and dab again. Yeah. It's just to sportsmanship, you know?
Yeah, but like I say, it consciously or unconsciously makes you reset.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, I don't know why, but it was getting more nervous every time they did.
Yeah, I was like, and so, but I think it's good that Ian Gary won. It does give up some questions because the question is, who's going to be the next, this is welterweight?
This is welterweight, correct.
Who's going to be the next welterweight champion? The question is Ian Gary or Shavkat. Those are the two young guys of the division, right?
Gotcha.
Shavkat looked way better.
And that's the thing with Ian Gary. I don't feel like he showed anything out of the ordinary that would make me think that his championship material.
Now, let's say Jeff Neal is really good. Like, Jeff Neal is right there. One day we can sit down and have an underrated list.
Okay.
Jeff Neal is gonna be on it. Like Jeff Neal is really, really, really good. If you have time, go back and look at what Jeff Neal did to the next contender, which is Bilal Muhammad. Jeff Neal absolutely destroyed Bilal Muhammad. It was a long time ago. It was a few years ago. So I'm not saying he is that now. But just so you could see the potential.
And a little context on what.
Yes, put a little context in what we're saying about what Jeff Neal is. Jeff Neal destroyed Bilal Muhammad. And but yeah, Ian Gary, the next fight for Ian Gary, Colby Covington makes perfect sense.
Do you think Colby Covington takes that fight?
Colby Covington has to take money fights, and Ian Gary's a money fight. I think there's better ones out there for him.
I think if he loses to Ian Gary,
Colby Covington is done with being a champion. He's not gonna be a champion. Oh.
He lost so much stock in who he is.
Who can he fight?
Ian Gary or
no? Because him calling out Wonder Boy makes no sense to me. That's not gonna make any money. To me, there's two money fights. Well, let me see. Colby Gilbert, I don't think makes much sense, but that can happen.
I think he's gonna get fed one of the top, the 10 and above guys, and he's gonna end up being.
He's too old, man. Because look, if Bilal loses to Leon, which is a possibility, Bilal Colby makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
But the thing is that, let's say Colby does win that fight, Colby Bilal. By that point, Shavkat should had already fought Leon, right? So the problem is that Leon and Bilal is not booked yet. So if we're being honest, it's probably 301 or 302, which that's in May or June, right? So, because 299 is booked, 300 is booked.
Stacked.
When is 301?
301, I don't think they have.
It's May. Yeah, it's definitely in May, because UFC 300 is in April, right?
Yeah, May 3rd.
May 3rd. So, and I don't think it's in, honestly, I don't think it's then either. I think it's probably because the UFC is in trouble.
Yes, we have talked about this.
Yes.
They have stacked the last couple of cards so much that 301, 302, anything after 300 is going to be.
But look, when's International Fight Week? Is that August?
I thought it was November.
Oh, it's November? It might be. 2024.
June.
June.
Neither one of us.
It's not. What are they going to do? International Fight Week has to be the best card of the year.
Oh, it's supposed to be. Right now, I mean.
They're going to have nobody available.
Oh, unless they have Conor McGregor fight on that card.
So Conor, like I said, Conor, to me, should we talk about 300 now?
No. Let's leave it to the end. We'll have its own little segment.
Okay, so let's move on to the next fight. I guess we'll talk about it.
All right, so moving on, we got middleweight bout Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa. What did you think?
Robert Whittaker is so damn skillful.
He is.
If Robert Whittaker had any power, Robert Whittaker hasn't hurt anybody in about 10 fights. Like, it's crazy.
It sucks to say, but it's true.
It's so true.
It's such a big deciding factor. Like, if you had that in your toolbox, man, you would be unstoppable.
Unstoppable. The problem with Robert Whittaker, he can get rocked. Like, he just fights in a division where everybody's bigger than him. Have you
talking about getting rocked? The first round, he had it the whole time.
The whole round.
Last 10 seconds, spinning back kick to the face. It was almost done for it.
It was almost done. If it's 20 more seconds, I think it's done.
Yes.
So it's like, and Robert Whittaker is just like, yo, man, he is so good.
He's talented. He's skilled. He's every adjective synonym to those.
Yes.
He's so technical. He's quick. His timing is great. Those leg kicks were going.
He won that fight 2 3/4 So to a fourth, like, and he lost that round because of 10 seconds. Because, or else it would have been a clean sweep. Like, I kind of agree with the judge that gave him the 3-0, even though he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Like, that judge is ridiculous.
Yeah, 3-0 and like he won 3 rounds.
He gave him a 30-27. Yeah, like, he shouldn't do that. But it was like, it was.
I wonder if this tells you what the judges say on here.
Is it there?
I know I can look it up, but
yeah, we're having internet issues today. But no, man, Robert Whittaker is just so good. The problem is I don't see a future. Like,
okay, so then let's talk about a future, right?
Like, it's just not feasible for you to be able to go 5 rounds of being perfect. Like,
yeah, you're gonna get caught at one point.
You're at one point gonna get caught, and it'll be fine if you can catch the other guy, and that would hurt him. And no, there's a fight that makes sense for Whittaker that puts him into title contention.
Dricus.
No, that's the champion.
Oh, in title contention, okay.
Yes. Sean Strickland.
Yeah, because he hasn't fought him already.
He hasn't fought him. They have similar power, even though it seems like Sean has more.
Okay.
They're similar skill sets. Winner gets the title. And they're 2 fan favorites. And winner gets the title shot. They're saying that Izzy's ready to come back. Obviously, when Izzy comes back, he's getting a title shot. But
do you think they'll do it in South Africa?
I don't know if it's South Africa, but definitely Africa.
Okay.
What? It's really South Africa and what?
Exactly.
Nigeria?
Exactly.
Like, where else are you going to go? South Africa and Nigeria. There's no really. So
Dricus versus Izzy, and then Strickland versus Robert Whittaker, and the fighter of each one of those fights fight each other.
Exactly. That makes the most sense. And that fight is the only one. But I don't see Whittaker beating Dricus du Plessis. It's just, he is clearly the better fighter. He is clearly the better fighter.
He's so big, man. You can't.
He's just fighting a guy twice his size.
Yeah. And it sucks a second because they're in the same weight class. But it just, he looks so much more powerful just in appearance.
That guy, he was so good yesterday. Yeah. And Paulo Costa looked good.
Yeah, no,
he looked really good. Like that high kick was like a jab.
Yeah.
It was like coming out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Paulo that jab caught Whittaker the entire time. He was just he's just so good. But it's like, it's impossible to be perfect for 5 rounds. It's crazy because I personally, like, I hated the Whittaker Adesanya too. Like, I think Whittaker could have won that fight. That fight was so bad. That fight was so bad that it was similar to Jeff Neal, Ian Gary.
Yeah.
Like,
but so correct me if you think I'm wrong. Izzy at the end of the last couple of fights that he had, he was more on the defensive, trying to be a counter striker, trying to catch him, trying to time them, trying to do those things. And it was more of a technical fight for him. And he wasn't like going out there to beat the other guy. He was more fighting to not lose.
No, we'll talk about the Volkanovski thing too. But like, again, I'm not a fighter, but I feel like I consider myself a student of every sport. And something I realized about Adesanya, if you look at his wins, right? Like, he beat Whittaker when he won a championship. Alpha counter striking.
Yes.
Right? That fight. Counter striking. His defense was against Paulo Costa. Can you pull up his record real quick?
Izzy?
Yeah. Paulo Costa. I'm sorry, no, Izzy. After Whittaker, it was Paulo Costa, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see this. There we go. Okay.
All right, so he beats Whittaker.
Then Cannonier.
No, that's Whittaker too. Okay, so he beats one more.
Okay, let's see if it's...
Click it again.
It's loading.
Yeah, there you go.
Be patient.
It wasn't loading. All right, so he beats Gastelum for the interim title, right?
Gastelum, right?
Okay, he beats Whittaker off a pure counter striking, right?
Okay.
Knocked him out in the second round. The next fight after that is Romero. Did you watch that fight?
No.
Terrible.
Was it?
Terrible fight. Why? Because Romero wouldn't go first, and Adesanya is definitely not gonna go first.
Okay.
The first 2 rounds, nobody threw a punch. So much that the ref got in and was like, "Hey, yo, y'all gotta do something."
Yeah.
Yes, the ref is like, what the hell are y'all doing?
If they weren't throwing punches, what were they doing? Just dancing around?
There was a point where Romero just stayed like that, trying to see if the guy was gonna do nothing, and Adesanya didn't do nothing. Like, so everybody's like, "Oh, that he's just being smart." The next fight is Costa. You watch that fight. Adesanya didn't throw a punch for about the first 3 minutes. Everything was leg kicks. He was staying on the outside.
Yeah.
And as you saw yesterday, Paulo Costa sucks. He was not good with leg kicks yesterday. Mm-hmm. He sucked 3 years ago, whenever this fight was.
You would think those fighters, their legs are just immune to leg kicks because of how often they get them. Like, wow, man.
And so off leg kicks, then Paulo Costa had to come in off a counter strike. Then he fought Costa. He lost to Lahovic going up to 205. He beat Marvin Vettori, all leg kicks. I just told you about the Adesanya Whittaker fight. Terrible fight. Adesanya Cannonier, terrible fight. And lost to
now we get into the Pereira era.
And then he lost to Pereira. How did he beat Pereira? Let's look at counter strike. Right? That's
what he does.
That's what he does. That's what he does. And then I feel like then he fought, he fought Strickland, and what did Strickland do? Strickland got straight in his face. But he would stand so close to Adesanya and not throw. And Adesanya wouldn't throw. Like, Adesanya cannot go first. He never goes first. The only way he goes first is with leg kicks. And as we saw with Strickland in the Duplessis fight and in the Adesanya fight, the guy could check leg kicks. He's a beast at checking leg kicks. He's a beast at boxing. He knows how to jab you. Like, he's an awkward boxer. He stands so straight up. And that normally is a problem, but he's a decent wrestler. But versus Adesanya, there's no risk of him shooting at you. Right? So he's standing straight up. Adesanya can't go first. And now there's so much tape on him
that everybody understands
that he's not going to go first. So you can't let him leg kick you to death from the outside.
Because at the point, what is the point, right?
But it's a point where it's like normally the guys from the outside are like, how do you get in on him? Well, get in and don't strike. Get in and don't swing. He won't swing until you swing.
Yeah, do what Strickland did.
Yeah, it's like do what Strickland. Like, get in, don't swing, and then you're in there just to jab. You don't have to overthrow.
Yeah.
And you have a chance to beat him.
So, what's next for Costa?
Costa in trouble. But he looked so good.
He did look good. For being out for as long as he had been out, he looked pretty good.
He's ranked what?
Costa is number 6. What's the last time that he fought before last night?
Luke Rockhold.
About how long ago was that?
Like 2 years.
Oh, yeah. 2022 in August. So a year and a half.
He lost to Vettori. Before that, he lost to Adesanya, right? I think before that, it was his Adesanya fight. Like, the thing is, the guy has one notable win.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Uriah Hall at the time was a notable one, but didn't age well.
Yeah.
His one big win is Joel Romero.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Luke Rockhold, but Luke Rockhold wasn't Luke Rockhold at that point.
At that point, he was at the end of his career.
At that point, he was done. So it's like the Vettori fight looks very bad.
Okay, so then let's go to the main event of the evening: Alexander Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria for the featherweight title bouts. Did you think it was going to go like that? I know we talked about that this is a definite threat for Alexander Volkanovski. We talked about how Ilia Topuria has the opportunity, has the chance, has the skills to beat Alexander Volkanovski. Did you think it was going to go the way that it did, though?
No. Well, I think it could have. Like, I think I told you, I bet money on Ilia Topuria because I feel like this was a strong possibility. It was like a lot of strong possibilities.
Yeah.
Like, anything could have happened in this fight. Because we didn't know what Ilia Topuria really was. Because Ilia Topuria had beat guys that we knew were at second level. Right? Mm-hmm. They're good. But Bryce Mitchell is a second level fighter. We know that. Josh Emmett is a second level fighter. We know that. I think those were his two biggest wins. Like Ryan Hall is not even a second level fighter. Like, can you go to Topuria's record real quick? It's not amazing. Like the closest fighters to number one level right now are Brian Ortega, are the Mexican one. What's his name? Yair Rodriguez, Max Holloway, and he didn't fight any of those guys, right? He fought Justin Herbert. He fought Bryce Mitchell. He fought Ryan Hall, Josh Emmett, and then it ended up being. And that's not enough of a resume to be like, oh yeah, he's for real.
Right.
But he looked for real, like versus them guys. You know what I mean? So it was like we didn't know. Now, what I tell you is like, this is a sport that these guys look like monster toes, but they're human beings. If you get knocked out 3 months earlier, it's a lot easier to knock you out. It's just a scientific fact.
And it sucks to say, but as much as he wants to admit it or not, Alexander Volkanovski's chin is not where it needs to be right now.
Yes, when you get knocked out, it's easier to knock you out. Your chin is not recuperated.
Yeah.
So you have to rest. You have to take your time, and he just didn't. And he refuses to. It not only that, age, attrition, tape on this guy. How much tape has there been on this guy? It's crazy. Like you know what he can do and can't do. How much tape at an elite level do we have of Ilia Topuria?
Not much.
So it's like, I don't know, man, but it's. I'm sorry, but Volkanovski may be done.
Well, saying done, what does that mean to you? Saying that Volkanovski is done, he should retire? Is you saying that he should go on a hiatus? What is that? What does that?
I think he needs a hiatus.
I agree with that.
The problem is he's 35 years old. 35-year-old. If you take a year hiatus, you're almost 37 now.
That's true.
So that's not a great thing. And the problem is that I think this just opened up the lane for Max Holloway. Max Holloway beats Justin Gaethje, or not even beats. If he goes 5 rounds with Justin Gaethje, the next fight should probably be
Topuria versus Max Holloway.
Topuria versus Holloway. I have not met the man yet to knock down Max Holloway.
Yeah.
So you tell me, I have not met the man yet that has knocked down Max Holloway. Topuria cannot outlast Max Holloway in a 5-round fight. Like yesterday, he was losing the fight. He lost the first round.
Yeah, the first round, he didn't have it. But I will say this. This is kind of rewind a little bit. Ilia Topuria winning does something great for the division, which just opens it up.
Yes, it opens
it up. Which before it was stuck with Alexander Volkanovski, and it was just who we were going to feed to him next, right?
Yeah, but now, the problem is still there. The problem is still there because, again, like I said, you can't do MMA math with in the UFC.
No.
Look, if there's a guy that can maybe knock out Max Holloway, it might be Ilia Topuria. I have yet to see this guy get stunned. Forget knocked out. We haven't seen him get stunned yet. I don't see Ilia Topuria beating Max Holloway in a 5-round fight.
Because of the stamina?
Because that's what Max does. Max is gonna put volume on you. He's gonna Arnold Allen is a knockout artist, and you saw how clean he hit Max Holloway. It was like, how the hell is this human being still not even like, he just shook it off?
Yeah.
What Alex Volkanovski did to him, he hit him over and over and over and over again, and the dude just came walking forward like a zombie. So it's like,
Max Holloway is a different breed, man.
Yes. So it's like, I don't see Ilia Topuria being able to outpoint Max Holloway, and I haven't seen a man able to knock him out.
Yeah.
So what could Volkanovski do? He could outpoint Max. He could never really hurt him, but he can outpoint Max. We haven't seen anybody else. Like, if you see the footage of Yair Rodriguez versus Max Holloway, you would think they got shot in the face.
With a shotgun.
Yeah, like, and the dude never shook his head to think like, oh shit, that hurt. The guy doesn't get hurt. Like those Samoan guys are just different.
It's impressive.
Yeah, so I'm like, this opens up the window. The problem is that Max wins it. Alex comes back. You're back where you started.
But it's not that way anymore, because we just talked about it. Alexander Volkanovski, as good as he is deteriorating quickly. Yeah. So even I think a 7th match with Max Holloway. I think eventually you gotta win one, right? So unfortunately, I don't think that.
What I'm saying is that if Max Holloway beats Gaethje, he just won 3 in a row. Yeah. It's crazy to say, but he just beat Arnold Allen, he beat Korean Zombie, and he beat Justin Gaethje. Yeah. Those are no jokes.
Out of your weight class.
Yes. So those are no jokes. If he wins the Justin Gaethje fight, he just won 3 in a row. I'm sorry, there's no way you don't give him the title fight. Yeah. Like, so it's Max Holloway, by the way, a fan favorite. So
and it's a money fight.
And it's a money fight. It's a money fight. That fight can headline
in Spain.
Yes, that fight can headline anywhere. It can headline in Spain, in Vegas, in China. Mm-hmm. It can headline anywhere. Yes. So now that Edlov guy, Eliov or whatever, from the featherweights, what's his name? Movar.
Movsar.
Yes, Movsar Eliov. He seems like to be the next guy. Okay. But I think he needs one more fight.
Let's see who he's fought. He's fought Allen, Lopez.
That's Ige. It. Yeah. Oh, he beat Ige. That's a big win, but he needs one more fight. Yeah. And that fight's probably gonna be Josh Emmett. That's probably gonna be Josh Emmett or the winner of Yair Rodriguez versus Brian Ortega. Like, so, but if Max Holloway beats Justin Gaethje somehow.
But you said it earlier. Like, you don't even have to win that fight. If you last 5 rounds, if you show up and you make this a war, which it's supposed to be, you get that fan favoritism that you would.
But there's bigger questions there. Like, right. Yeah, of course. If he beats Justin Gaethje, it's undeniable.
Well, might as well book it that day. But I will also say this. If he goes 5 rounds with Justin Gaethje can't knock him out. There's no way Ilia Topuria is knocking him out.
That's the bigger... Yes.
There's no way Ilia Topuria
I agree with you. If Justin Gaethje can't knock him out...
Nobody can. John Jones can get in there and they're going to fight to the death.
Yeah. I agree with you. Like, if I agree with you wholeheartedly. If Justin Gaethje can't knock him out, I don't see Ilia Topuria knocking him out. Not at all. And do you see Ilia Topuria beating Max Holloway in a 5-round fight anyway?
You, me, E.T., Ray, we all said Alexander Volkanovski is gonna murder him. It went the complete opposite way. Topuria.
Oh, I didn't say that. I let y'all go, but I didn't say he was gonna murder him.
You were the one that did say this is a challenge.
Yes, this is a real test. Yeah, I put money on the guy. Yeah, but I still it's MMA math to me, and and part of it wasn't. Yes, the Ilia Topuria is very good, but everything adding up to it. The guy got knocked out 3 months ago. I knew that was a factor. The guy's 35. I knew that. Max Holloway is younger than Alex Volkanovski. It's crazy.
What is he, like 31, 32? I
think he's 34. Okay. He's like 33, 34. So the guy's relatively young. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, I don't see Ilia Topuria beating Max Holloway in a 5-round fight. I just don't see it. And I don't know. It's crazy. It'll be great for the division.
But I like Ilia Topuria as a
he's really good.
Yeah, as a fighter and even as a what do you call it? Entertainer.
Yes, he's good.
He's good for business.
But I'm telling you, the problem with the division wasn't just Volkanovski. That's why everybody was begging Topuria, don't put him to fight Max. Like, even Volkanovski said it. It's like, don't fight Max. Like, you can't let this guy fight Max Holloway before he fights Volkanovski.
Then you have to give it to him first. Give him the chance.
Yes.
Give him a chance to win. And then if he does, we'll give you
this featherweight division got in so much trouble that you started skipping the number one contender.
Yes.
Cause like you didn't want
yeah.
him. You didn't want him to beat the rest of the team.
That it's so stacked that the barrier to entry is just at the top.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yes. So yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. But man, I'm sad for Volkanovski. That the truth is, I think Isaiah said it once. Everybody's gonna end up losing. Like everybody's beatable. And the trend, unfortunately, was it happening with champions. Is like look at Usman. Usman hasn't looked bad in any fight. Lost 3 in a row now.
Yeah.
That's you remember Peter Yan? Peter Yan, since he lost the championship, hasn't looked bad in a single fight.
Yep.
Has lost 3 in a row, I think. 3 or 4 in a row. It's just like sometimes
once somebody finds out the formula,
it's hard to come back. Yeah. Yes, it's hard to come back. But man, I don't know, man. I want Topuria. I want the division to open up. The truth is the division is.
So do you want somebody else to win the championship, or do you think he?
I want to see Topuria Max. I do want to see it.
Okay.
I want to see Topuria Max. Max is not done. Like he's not done, and like we had this debate again. I feel like the UFC missed a big opportunity. They should take a page from the WWE. They really should.
Be careful what you say, but go ahead.
It's like you could put. There was a point I remember as a kid. Triple H and The Rock could fight every week.
Yeah.
And nobody had a problem with it. I remember when Amanda Nunes and Valentina Shevchenko were running through everybody. We're like, why aren't these two fighting? Because they already fought twice. Man, let them fight 7 times. Who cares?
But it's different. You can't compare WWE or professional wrestling to this, because you can find a way to have me beat you without making you look weak.
Okay.
In professional wrestling.
But
you can't do that.
I'm not saying do it every time. I'm just saying when it happens organically, do it. That's what happened between Valentina Shevchenko and Amanda Nunes. They fought twice. Neither one of them looked weak. The second fight, a lot of people thought Valentina won. Why didn't they fight again?
Because she retired.
No, because Dana White didn't want it a third time. Because they were both running through people in the first round. I'm like, let them fight each other.
Yeah, at that point.
So I'm like, if Max Holloway beats Topuria, let him fight Volkanovski again. Like, Volkanovski, like
I think he would deserve that fight.
You think people wouldn't watch it?
Absolutely. I think the only one that doesn't want to see that fight is Dana White.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm like, why not? If they're the two best, they're the two best. Yeah, like it's not their fault.
Like, if anything, it's a good thing.
I'm like, I'm sorry. Let them fight over and over again. The people will let you know when they're tired.
They divide the title. Yeah. You get one half, you get the other.
No, I'm like, let them fight. Let them fight as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I remember Uriah Faber and Dominic Cruz fought 3 times, like in 3 weeks, because they were the two best. Yeah. I'm like, let them fight as much as possible. So.
There's just so much talent now that I understand why they wouldn't want to do that, because you got to build up the other talent.
I understand, like, don't do it 4 times in a row like they did with Brandon Moreno and Figueiredo.
But those fights were good. Yes. I get that. They were wars every single time.
There were 4 times in a row.
Yeah. But nobody complained about that. Nobody complained about that.
Nobody's going to complain about him.
Not even Dana White.
Not one person complained about him. I'm like, so it's like Robert Whittaker and Adesanya. If Robert Whittaker beat Duplessis, you have to do it again.
I get,
yeah. It's like, so I'm like, if they're the two best, they're the two best.
It comes a point where certain things happen. It becomes an inevitability to let it happen.
Yes, you have to let it happen. So I'm like, if Volkanovski takes his hiatus and Max Holloway beats Topuria, let it happen again.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. Like, what's the biggest issue? If they're the two best, they're the two best. So we are gonna end this video here. This is the post-fight of UFC 298. This is coming out tonight.
Tonight, maybe tomorrow morning.
All right, Sunday night, Monday morning. This next UFC 300 video will be out Wednesday. All right, we're gonna talk about the main card that just got announced. We think it's the whole card. UFC 300. So we're gonna try to break down our initial thoughts right now that the card is confirmed. Of course, in April we're gonna talk about it again, but right now, on Wednesday, go watch the UFC 300 video. And please follow, like, comment, subscribe. Follow our TikTok, subscribe. Let's see you next time. Peace.